You know that feeling, right? You've got a plant, it seems totally fine, and then, bam, overnight is just this sad, wilted mess. And our first instinct, always, is to grab the watering can. But what if I told you the real problem started long before you ever saw a single drooping leaf? Today, we're going to get into the hidden world of plant underwatering. Here's the thing that changes the whole game. By the time you actually see those wilted leaves screaming for help, your plant has already been struggling for days, maybe even weeks. The most critical damage? It's happening where you can't even see it, deep in the soil, where the roots are literally being starved of water. So let's start right there, with that unseen damage. Because this is where the whole story really begins, in a place most of us never even think to look. See, this is the crucial time lag we have to understand. A plant is a master of just toughing it out. It battles to survive long before it sends out that big, obvious SOS signal, those wilted leaves. And that delay is exactly why we so often get it wrong. We rush in to treat the symptom, but we've completely missed the cause. But what if you could become a sort of plant detective? That's what we're doing in this next section. We're going to learn how to decode the really subtle clues your plants are giving you, way before they ever start to wilt. So let me ask you, think about your own garden or your houseplants. Have you noticed any of these little shifts without really realizing what they meant? It is so much easier to miss them than you'd think. Okay. Let's look closely at this list, because we are not talking about dramatic drooping here. It's the small stuff. Like, you know that healthy, waxy sheen a leaf has? Well, it just disappears, and the leaf starts to look kind of dull, almost dusty, or the very edges start to get a little brown and crispy. Here's a good one. Give a new stem a gentle bend. If it feels stiff and not flexible, that's a sign. And two really big physical clues. The soil literally starts to shrink away from the pot's edge, and just lift the pot. If it feels way lighter than it should, that's a massive red flag. These are your real first alerts. So why do these signs even appear? To really get it, we need to zoom in, like way in, and see what's happening on a microscopic level inside the plant. It all comes down to these things called stomata. Just think of them as thousands of tiny pores on the leaves that basically breathe for the plant. Now, when a plant senses its water supply is dropping, it kind of panics, and it slams these pores shut to stop any more water from escaping. It's a brilliant survival move, but it comes at a huge cost. It completely slams the brakes on photosynthesis. And this comparison just lays it all out. A healthy, happy plant is all about growth. It's photosynthesizing like crazy, making new leaves, pushing out flowers. But the moment it becomes water-stressed, it flips a switch into pure survival mode. Photosynthesis plummets, growth stops dead in its tracks, and it might even drop its flower buds just to conserve energy. It is a total system shutdown. Now that we know the signs and the science, let's look at the cause. What are we as gardeners doing that puts our plants in this survival mode so often? So take a look at this list and, be honest with yourself. Does any of this sound a little familiar? Because one of these is probably your garden's secret problem. The biggest culprit, by far, is that first one, watering a little bit every day. It feels right, but all you're doing is wetting the top inch of soil. You're actually training the roots to stay near the surface where they just bake in the sun. Some other classics are watering in the middle of a hot day when most of it just evaporates, or assuming a light sprinkle of rain did the job when it never even reached the root zone. This observation right here just nails it. A quick daily sprinkle gives you this illusion that you're caring for the plant, but a deep, less frequent soak is what actually delivers water where it's needed. The surface might look nice and wet, but 6 inches down, where it matters, it could be a desert. So if shallow watering is the problem, it's pretty obvious that deep watering is the solution. Let's get into the right way to do it. This is your magic number, 6 inches. For most of your garden plants, you want that water to penetrate at least 6 inches into the soil. That's where the active root zone is. Anything less is just a tease. And this is maybe the most important takeaway of all. You are literally training your plant's roots. A deep soak forces them to grow downward, creating a strong, resilient anchor that can find moisture even when the surface is bone dry. Shallow watering does the opposite. It trains them to be weak and vulnerable, completely dependent on your next little splash. And this table shows exactly why a fixed watering schedule just doesn't work. Your soil type completely changes the game. Just look at established perennials. In sandy soil, they might need water every 3 to 5 days. But in that heavy clay soil that holds onto moisture, They could go 7, maybe even 10 days without a problem. The key is to adapt to your conditions, not to a calendar. Okay, we've covered a lot, so let's distill all of this down into one simple, actionable golden rule you can start using today. Here's part 1. Forget the calendar. Forget what the surface looks like. Before you even think about watering, your first action is to check the soil where it matters, a few inches down. Use your finger, use a trowel, a stick, whatever. Just check it. And here's the second part. If that soil is dry, then and only then do you water. And when you do, you water thoroughly until you're confident it has reached that 6-inch target. It's really that simple. Check, then soak. And to make this all even more effective, here are 2 final pro tips. First, add a thick layer of mulch. It's like giving your garden a protective blanket. It can slash water evaporation by a massive 70%. And second, try to group plants together based on their water needs. It just makes your life so much easier so you're not overwatering one to save another. So I'll leave you with this question. After everything we've looked at, is the problem really that your garden is thirsty? Or could it be that your watering habits have been a little shallow? Changing that one habit could be the key to a healthier, more resilient garden.